Okay, and now we are finally at the occult section. Again, it will take some time. I don't know, I think this will be the third video that I will be posting. Uh, because I can't make an hour long or whatever, an hour long video. So I'm going to post this in parts. So, this is not actually going to start with the occult, but it's going to start with religion and history of religion, comparative religion, and the sociology of religion and stuff like that. So, we'll we'll have a Velasco introduction in the phenomenology of religion, but actually I should be beginning with James George Fraser's The Golden Bough, because it's the oldest of these, and this is actually a new Romanian edition. We have another edition in, I don't know, 6 volumes, I think, from the 80s, but I don't have that one. Then Emil Durkheim, why I don't know how to pronounce it. Elementary Forms of Religious Life. And then we have the first 3 volumes of Mircea Eliade's books on history of religion and religious ideas. But there's also a 4th volume that is not published in English, and this was edited by his student, his disciple, as people like to call him, Ioan Petru Culianu, also a great uh, religious studies expert, and also the one that took the professor professor chair at Chicago University from Mircea Eliade. And then we have this treatise of history of religion. Then we have this Eliade and Culianu dictionary of religions. Some this is about the Romanian legend of Meșterul Manole. It's anyway, also by Mircea Eliade, The Myth of the Eternal Return, Images and Symbols, Sacred and Profane, Mephistopheles and the Androgyne. What's this translated as? I don't know about alchemists. Anyway, from Zalmoxis to Genghis Khan, and then Shamanism and Archaic Techniques of Ecstasy. These are the Mircea Eliade books. Then we have this book with various authors, including Culianu, which is Religion and Power. 2 books by Culianu, Psihonodia and Mind Games. Another important writer, Romanian writer, Sergiu Algeorge, Archaic and Universal. This is just something very small about first religions, not an academic study or anything, but anyway. And here is a 5-volume set from Giovanni Filoramo, History of Religion. This is a great introduction into the history of religions that is studied, from what I know of, that is studied in universities, at least at the University of Bucharest at the religious studies faculty, if I'm not mistaken. And there's this this book on religions of the world, not very important, but anyway, this Filoramo, this should be translated into English because it's really good. Again, Giovanni Filoramo and Marcelo Masenzio, Massimo Raveri, Paolo Scarpi. It's a manual of history of religions. I didn't read that. I don't know how it is. Jean Delumeau, another important book about religions of the world. Michel Malherbe. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's an encyclopedia of religions. And then Jonathan Black, Sacred History. You probably know this one. Karen Armstrong, History of God. Again, you probably know this one. Isms, Understanding Religions. Again, you probably know this one. It's very cheap, so we're getting further. Here we're having some. Let me put this where it belongs. Books on yoga, on Hinduism, Buddhism, whatever, Oriental religions, okay, and sacred texts. Also Tibetan Buddhism and Rig Veda, Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita. Okay, anyway. Edward G. Watts, The Last Pagan Generation. Karnbach, I think, Dictionary of General Mythology. Heikoman, Studies of Mythology. Antoaneta Oltanu, Dictionary of Mythology. Gods and Demons, also Lexicon. Strigoi, which are the vampires, actually. The original name for vampire is Strigoi in Romanian, so. And another French book on vampires. What else? Let's see. We have a Dictionary of Mythology and the Epic of Gilgamesh above, okay. Then the Divine Chants of Zarathustra, the Mysteries of Salmoxis, Mysteries of Antiquity, Pythagoras and the Mysteries of Antiquity, Egyptian Mysteries by Alexander Moret, or Alexander Moret, yeah. The Eleusinian Mysteries by Franz Cumont. Oriental Religions in Roman Paganism, again by Franz Cumont. Nordic Mythology, I don't remember who wrote this, and it's not on the spine, so anyway. Nordic Germanic Mythology. Then we have this beautiful book on Germanic civilization and Viking and Germanic civilization. And then we had the Edda of Snorri. And then we have this book that I presented on the page, that is a book about mythology written in the 1920s. This is the first edition, but this is a rebinding or recover of that old book because it wasn't in a very good condition. And mysteries of ancient Egypt, divinities and symbols, old divinities and symbols of the Egyptians, on Isis and Osiris by Plutarch, Orpheus by Mede, I don't know. Just please tell me how to pronounce his name. Okay, Orpheus again, Phoenician mythology, um, legends. This is actually a very classical 2 volume of written by a Romanian on legends of Olympus. This is very, very good. It's, well, for everyone, for kids, for teens, for adults, for everyone. These are great introductions to the Greek myths, and there are 2 volumes. One is called The Gods, and the second one is The Heroes. So these two are wrote by Alexandru Mitru, and then we have this little book also by Alexandru Mitru from the Legends of Olympus. And then we have this guy here, Poseidon. And yeah. And then we have the legends and myths of ancient Greece. And then we have the, mythologie Greek and Roman. Okay, so Greek and Roman mythology. I don't know, I think this one is from the 30s. It's an older edition from the 30s, if I'm not mistaken. And going further, we got the Iliad, the Odyssey, the Aeneid, the classical epics, okay? And then we get to the history of Christianity. Okay, the triumph of Christianity. And then we have a history of the Bible, the story of the most important book of the world. Okay, a history of Christianity again. History of dogma, Christian myths, Maria Sophia again. Rather interesting book, but I didn't get the chance to read it. I wanted to, but I always found something else. But I really should read that. Anyway, here above we have something that I just accidentally came across: a history of the church and parish of Saint Michael and All Angels. I have no idea where I found this one. I don't remember, but this is interesting. Okay, so, and then we have the complete illustrated guide to the Catholic faith, and then a book on the Mass. We Romanians are not Catholics, so we don't know much about the Catholics and Catholicism, and so I had to take these books. The Origins of Satan by Elaine Pagels, How Christians Demonized Jews, Pagans, and Heretics. I'm pretty sure you all know about this one. This is a classic already, so... Anyway, this one's... since Christians were Jews, at the dawn of Christianity, again, Giovanni Filoramo, that I talked about him earlier, The Cross and Power, and then Catherine Nixie, the Darkening Age, I think it's translated. I think, not translated, the original title is Darkening Age, but it's not an academic book. It's a very contested book by historians. It's not something that I would really recommend. Catherine Nixie is a journalist, not an historian. So, okay, Bart D. Ehrman, I think it's pronounced, How Jesus Became God. And then another book about Jesus, okay, The Divine Feminine by John Noyce. I don't know the original title, so okay. And now we're getting a bit into patristics and old Christian, mostly Orthodox religion. So we have this history of old Christian literature, Greek and Latin. This is a set. I have to complete the set. So, okay, we have the names of God in the Quran and the Bible. Okay. How is it? How do I translate it? I can't translate it. I can't believe I can't translate. How do I say it? Oh my God, this is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. Anyway, this is the Ages of Spiritual Life, Dialogues at Mount Athos by Theoclit Dionysiacul. This is Orthodox Spirituality, Asceticism and Mystics by Professor and Priest Dr. Dumitru Stăniloae, which he passed away unfortunately, but he was a great scholar of Orthodox spirituality. And again, by Stăniloae, we have Ascetics and Mystic Orthodoxy. Again, Stăniloae, the life and teachings of Saint Gregory of Palama, I think is translated. Again, Stăniloae, trăirea lui Dumnezeu în ortodoxie. How should I actually translate this? Living God in Orthodoxy, something like that. Dumitru Stăniloae, Lucian Blaga's position towards Christianity and Orthodoxy is very interesting. Like I said, this guy right here, where is he? Where is he? Here he is. Lucian Blaga was a philosopher, was a poet, but some consider him a Luciferian. Okay, where was I? Oh, okay. Here again about Orthodox mysticism and asceticism. Asceticism? Anyway. The Cult of the Saints by Peter Brown. I don't know the original title. The Saint and the Cult of Saints by Anton Karaja. And then we have a book on Saint Paul. And then we have the lives of the bishops of Rome, the bishops of Rome, by who wrote this? Oh my God, it's so hard to take it out. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The life of the Desert Fathers in Egypt of the 4th century. Very interesting. I think this is again just one volume out of 2. I'm not sure. I don't remember. Anyway, Cristian Bădăliță is a very important scholar on patristics, and we have more books written by Cristian Badelița. First one is about the Church Fathers. Then 9 studies on 9 biblical studies, 9 patristic and biblical studies. Then a manual on anti-Christology. Then the metamorphosis of the Antichrist at the Church Fathers. And then we have a book on the Antichrist by Wilhelm Buset. I don't know how to pronounce it. Apostasy and the Antichrist. Okay, and let's get further. Here's the Coptic, how is it called? Pathetic. How do I translate the pathetic? Well, pathetic, it's the sayings of the Desert Fathers. So I don't know how to translate this, but this is important. Let me pause a bit. Okay, lovely, I'm back, because instead of pausing the video I closed it. So where was I? At the Coptic, Patericul Copt, and it's actually in English is not an English word. It's called Patericon or Geronticon, and there are various types of Patericons and Geronticons, and this is one of the oldest, if not the oldest of them. This is a critical edition made by a team of Romanian scholars led by Professor Alain Suciu. And in that team, one of my good friends is also part of that team, Cristian Vecchiu. And then I have this one, which is an old book. Let me, well, not so old, but so it's Demonology of the Old Testament, Azazel, and it's published in 1934. And I didn't read it, but don't tell anyone. Anyway, going further, I'll put this here for now. And then we have patristic and humanism. And then we have Christian demonology, revelation, tradition, and rationalism. And then we have about the divine hierarchies, about written by a Romanian scholar and professor, Medea Xinchuk, another important professor at the University of Bucharest, Faculty of Religions, Bogdan Tataru Kazaban. It's Body of Angels. Andrei Pleșu, about angels, not very interesting. Henri Corbin, okay, Man and His Angel. I shouldn't have put it here. And then we have this Dictionary of Angels, which I think you all know, by Davidson, okay. Another Patericon, which I think is the Romanian Patericon called. Anyway, here is the Greek, not actually Greek, it's the Atonite Patericon or Geronticon. I think you can find this one in English as well. Yeah, anyway. Then the paganization of Christianity, of apostolic Christianity. I don't know how to translate that. Anyway, Philon of Alexandria, allegoric commentary. And then we have Saint Irenaeus of Lyon, Against All Heresies, all three books, which you probably heard of. The books against the Gnostics by Saint Irenaeus. Okay, this is by Hippolytus of Rome. Against All Heresies, Origen about prayer, and then a commentary to the Gospel of John, and that's also by Origen, and Saint Pamphile of Caesarea. I think, I don't know how to translate it. Okay, Apology of Origen, Philokalia of Origen. Okay, Saint Geronimo, I don't know. Okay, then we get Saint Augustine, which you all know. Augustine, we call it Augustine. Confessions about lie, about angels and man. Then we got Philostorgius, church history, and then we have books by Boethius and Salvianus from a very rare and very expensive collection from I think it began in the 60s up until the 80s. But it's a hardcover, beautiful hardcover, very hard to come by, and there are about 90 or over 100 volumes from this series, and I just got one, and this is very expensive, just one, so imagine having them all. Sorry. Saint Maxim, or Maximus, I don't know. Gnostic Heads. Okay. Saint Dionysius, Pseudo Dionysius. Okay. On the divine names and the mystical theology. And then celestial hierarchy. And then church hierarchy. Then Saint John Damascene. I don't know how to translate it. Dogmatic. Gregory of Nyssa about soul and revival. No, it's not revival. Anyway, okay, we got some books by Thomas d'Aquino, Summa Theologiae, and then about being and essence, and another book here that is about nature's principles of nature, also Thomas d'Aquino. Okay, a book about Thomas d'Aquino. Then Legenda Aurea, Jacques de Voragine. This is an important work. It's medieval, if I'm not mistaken. I should read it, but I don't know when. Okay, Saint John of the Cross, The Darkened Night, some Bibles that I have, Orthodox Bibles, and then we're going further here at the more apocrypha and pseudepigraphical pseudo-epigraphical writings and Gnostic gospels and stuff like that. So we have the Testament of Solomon here, and then we have the Gospel after Judas, but from left to right. Let's see. We got Agrapha fragments, extra canonical fragments of scripture. Then we got some apocryphal gospels. Then we have three apocrypha of the Old Testament. Then we have the Apocalypse of it's not Paul, it's Paul. Yep. The Fapte Apocryphe ale Apostoli. How should I translate this? Faptele. This is actually a type of writings about the apostles. So I don't know how to translate it in English. Sorry. But Faptele Apocryphe ale Apostolilor. Peter, Paul, John, Andrew, and Thomas. Then of the Apostle Thomas, then apocryphal apocalypses of the New Testament, then the Gospel of Pseudo Matthew, Martyrs for Christ, the Book of John the Baptist, Pătimirile Sfinților Martiri. I'm having a difficulty translating some things right now and pronouncing some of them, but it's I think 6 in the morning. I'm up since 2, so I'm a bit tired, sorry. Continuing, Gnostic hymns, Book of Wisdom of Solomon, Shepherd of Herma. You probably know these. The Gospel of Nicodemus, I think it's Nicodemus. Okay, Gnostic Gospels by Pagels, I think. No, this one is the Gnostic Scriptures from Nag Hammadi by Elaine Pagels. And then we have the Dead Sea Scrolls. Then the Book of Enoch, or Enoch 1. Then we have the Book of Enoch 2, Book of Adam and Eve, and then we have Pistis Sophia. So these are important Gnostic books. And then we have Pythagoras' Sacred Hymns, Orpheus, Mystical Initiations, Porphyry, Sentences. Then this is by a Romanian author, what's his name, Constantin Daniel, Aramaic Script, and also by Constantin Daniel, which is, well, very respected in Romania. It's the Essence, I don't know, and manuscripts from the Dead Sea. Then we have a very good introduction into Gnosticism by Stefan Holler. It's also, I mean, it's actually originally written in English. I have the Romanian translation. But yeah, I really recommend this as an introduction to Gnosticism before anything else, because it's an easy read. It's easy to understand. It presents all the things that you need to know first. So Okay, and then we have about Gnosis and Gnosticism by Henri Charles Puig. Again, this is not the first time that I'm misspelling his name, and I'm sorry, but tell me how it is pronounced, okay? Mansell, we have the Gnostic heresies from the first 2 centuries. Then we have Burkitt, Church and Gnosis. And then we have the Gnostic religion by uh, Hans Jonas. This is a classical work. And then we have the Ioan Petru Culianu, which I told you about, who was a great scholar, and he was a great expert on Gnosticism. Unfortunately, he was assassinated in the bathroom of the University of Chicago, where he was a professor. Nobody knows why he was assassinated or by whom. So there's a lot to talk about Culianu, but anyway, let's get to the books. This is Gnosticism and Modern Thinking, Hans Jonas. And then Dualistic Gnosis of the Occident. And then the Tree of Gnosis. I think this one is in English as well. I think it was translated. Yes, it was translated. Tree of Gnosis or something like that. So search for it. This is, how should I say, Culianu is not easy to read. He's very deep, and he's not only deep, but you need some really good knowledge, general knowledge, and also a very good vocabulary, because his books are not easy to read. They are extremely important. They are extremely well written, very respected, but not easy. Okay, so going further, this one is a book that I've been planning to read for a long time, and I still haven't. But this is very important. It's not translated in English. It's only in French and in Romanian. So by Robert Ambelain. I hope I pronounced his name correctly, because he was a very important figure. But this is Adam, the Red God. And in it talks about the origins of the Holy Scripture, about the Ophites, about pre-Christian Gnosis, Messiah, Genesis, Tree of Knowledge, Lucifer and Satan, Luciferian symbols, divine unity and the Trinity, the snake, and hermetic symbolism. So as you can see, this is a really interesting book, and it's not even big. It's a very small book that I should start reading. Anyway, the Cathars, I think, so this is Anne Brannon. I think this one is also translated in English. Okay, Marvin Meyer, which you most probably already know. Jesus in the Gospels and Gnostic texts. Actually in Gnostic Gospels and texts. Okay, and then we have another book by Meyer on Mary Magdalene and apocryphal texts and Gospels. This is Simon Magus in Christian literature of the first 4 centuries. Gnosis. I'm getting very, very tired, and it's getting harder to translate. So, Gnosis, jocul de ființe in Gnosis, Valentinian, whatever. Okay, Evagrius Ponticus, Practical Treatise, The Gnostic. You will find this in English, most probably. Clement Alexandrino. Again, hard to translate since I don't know how he is called in English. But this is Gnosis and Gnostics. This is a very important study by Simon Petrement. Essay upon dualism at Plato and Gnostics and Manichaeans. Then we have Isaac de Beausobre, whatever, Manichaeism, and more Manichaeism, and Platonic Christians from Alexandria, Charles Big, Chaldean Oracles, Neoplatonism by Thomas Whitaker. This one is in English, but I haven't seen a new edition. So anyway, Jean Brun, Neoplatonism, and I'm going to make a pause for now because I'm very tired, and I will continue this a bit later. I'm sorry.